Hello guys, we live in a world that is constantly changing, and it would seem that we are no longer surprised by innovations. But in 2004, there was one bold company that managed to stand out even among the most advanced brands. It made a real revolution, transforming the concept of modern cars. We are talking, of course, about Tesla. Its head, Elon Musk, is famous for his unconventional approach to work. But few people know that the company was founded not by him, but by scientists Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning. Today on the Brand Core channel, we will tell you about how Tesla managed to gain world fame and why the founders of the company regretted that they contacted Elon Musk. Guys, according to YouTube statistics, only a small percentage of people that watch our videos are actually subscribed. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video. First of all, we would like to pay attention to the creators of Tesla, the electrical engineer Martin Eberhard and computer developer Mark Tarpenning. At the time of their meeting in 1990, both of them had an excellent technical education and impressive professional experience. Despite the completely opposite characters, the scientists quickly became friends and soon became business partners. Before creating Tesla, the men were engaged in a number of other common projects. For example, in 1997, they opened the company Nuvo Media, which introduced one of the world's first ebooks under the brand Rocket eBook. Already in 2000, a successful startup was sold for $187 million. Having received such an impressive amount, the partners began to look for the industry to invest in. At that time, Eberhard was considering buying a sports car. As he said, he couldn't bring himself to buy a car that ate up a gallon of fuel for 18 miles, while the Middle East was in the center of the oil wars and the arguments for global warming were becoming more and more indisputable. Eberhard studied all the alternative technologies of energy consumption and found out that an electric car was the most optimal option. In his search, the scientist came across the largest manufacturer of electric cars, AC Propulsion, and tested their sports electric car T0. Eberhard was impressed because any green car couldn't achieve such a good performance before. But there was one problem. The car cost prohibitively expensive $220,000. Martin then joined the company to develop a prototype T0 with the replacement of lead-acid batteries with lithium-ion, which would reduce the cost of the model. In just 6 months, the prototype was finalized, but the company's management abandoned the project. For some reason, rejection would mean that the concept was not viable. But not for Martin. Together with Tarpenning, on July 1, 2003, they founded their own company, which would be engaged in the commercialization of electric cars with lithium-ion batteries and an asynchronous motor. And they called it Tesla Motors in honor of the inventor Nikola Tesla. Throughout the year, the partners were engaged in the completion of the project. They decided to approach production in a different way. Since production costs were still high, the scientists wanted to start with a luxury sports car. And only then, using the resulting profit, they developed a cheaper model for the mass market. The entrepreneurs realized that they did not have enough experience in the production of cars, so they decided to develop the engine and final assembly and purchase the remaining parts from third-party manufacturers. Well, how is Elon Musk linked with it, you may ask me? The partners needed a large sum of money for the development, but they didn't have it. It took about $7 million to develop the first prototype called the Roadster. With the help of investors, they managed to save up several $1 million, but this was sorely lacking. And that's when Eberhard and Tarpenning remembered about Elon Musk, who they met back in 2001 at the Mars Society conference. That time, the partners realized that Musk, with his dreams of space, could positively accept the idea of an electric car. By then, Elon Musk had managed to be the co-founder of several large startups. The first was Zip2, which combined city maps and data from the Yellow Pages directory. The startup was successfully sold, and Musk received about $22 million.
Musk sold his software company, Zip2, for $400 million cash.
Receiving cash is cash. I mean, those are just a large number of Ben Franklins.
Then he was engaged in a startup, X.com, which was intended to make online banking easier and was subsequently renamed PayPal. And even though the board of directors fired Musk because of the conflicts, he still owned 17% of the shares. When PayPal Inc. was sold to eBay for $1.5 billion in 2002, Elon received $180 million. In the same year, Musk founded SpaceX, which aimed to reduce the cost of space travel and open the way to the colonization of Mars. By the way, if you are interested in learning the full history of the creation of SpaceX, let us know in the comments, and we will definitely tell you about it. So, at the time of meeting with the founders of Tesla, Musk was already an experienced businessman and a promising investor. After the presentation, the entrepreneur invested $7.5 million in the company and became the chairman of the company's board of directors. Musk had long been interested in investing in some energy-saving project. He was very inspired by the idea of creating an automotive startup that would be revolutionary in the entire history of the automotive industry. Finally, work on the first model began in the fall of 2004. Eberhard and Tarpenning were not so familiar with the automotive industry, so almost everything had to be learned from scratch, and every little thing turned into a problem. Despite that, the scientists didn't give up and plunged into the study of a new topic. In 2005, the startup signed a contract with Lotus Cars for the supply of chassis and bodywork for the Roadster. Lotus is a British manufacturer of sports and racing cars. Production volumes were growing. The company's staff consisted of more than 100 employees, while the deadlines were pretty pressing. By 2006, the project was running out of money again, and the company was not ready to release the first production car yet. Then, the company arranges a closed presentation of the prototype for investors, and thanks to this, receives support of $40 million. At the same time, Elon Musk paid out of his own pocket $13 million. And finally, on July 19, 2006, Tesla Motors arranged a grand presentation of Roadster, which was attended by many celebrities.
One thing I'd say to anyone who's considering buying this car is, you're not just buying a sports car, you're actually helping pay for development of the mass market vehicles. The Tesla executives are not paid high salaries, we don't issue dividends. All money, all free cash flow goes completely into driving the technology to lower and lower costs and making it more and more available.
The model was so popular with potential investors that Tesla immediately received 30 pre-orders for the electric car. By the way, its cost was $110,000. In the next 2 weeks, 127 more orders were placed. It was then that people who did not believe in the success of electric cars were finally able to see the prospects of this direction. The car was so popular that some Silicon Valley representatives personally came to the Tesla office to make an order. The company was on everyone's lips. Roadster even won Time Magazine's Best Invention of 2006 award. One by one, articles appeared in the Washington Post, the New York Times, and other major American media outlets. But the fact was that the journalists were more interested in Eberhard and Tarpenning rather than in Musk. He was called just an early Tesla investor. This did not suit Musk at all because he considered himself a co-founder of the company. It was then that the conflict between the founders occurred. Meanwhile, a test drive of Roadster detected many problems and imperfections, which the company began to correct. The release of the car was constantly postponed for a number of reasons. One of them was the frequent disputes of the company's managers. Musk made suggestions all the time, and although they were often constructive, they still created chaos, due to the fact that the businessman was not always present in the office. In addition, the scale of production increased and Eberhard could no longer properly combine the management of the company and development. The question of finding a new CEO who would relieve the scientist was acute. The scale of the company's problems was frightening. The company's accounting was becoming more and more complicated. Component manufacturers were scattered in dozens of countries in Europe and Asia, which made the logistics more complicated too. All this led to the fact that the cost of the car increased from $85,000 to $200,000. As a result, in 2007, Eberhard was transferred from the post of director of the company to the position of president of technology. In the same year, Eberhard finally left the company. After that, Mark Tarpenning left the company too. The separation was very unpleasant. Legal proceedings for libel and the amount of severance pay lasted several years. The Tesla founders filed a lawsuit accusing Musk of trying to rewrite the company's history and take credit for the idea. The trial was over with a settlement agreement which resulted in a version of Tesla that had 5 founders, the very first of its investors. So in 2008, Elon Musk became the head of Tesla Motors and delved deeper into the company's affairs. And there, of course, the tough but effective famous management style of Musk was turned on. A businessman is known for demanding full commitment from himself and expecting the same from his subordinates. First of all, he spoke to the employees, saying that now everyone would work on weekends and literally live at work until they achieved a result. When he was told that everyone was already working at the limit and would like to spend time with their families, Musk said, "You will have more than enough time for your family when we go bankrupt." In just a year, Musk completely restructured Tesla's entire management system and laid off 10% of its employees. Such rigid methods brought good results. By 2008, the electric car was almost ready. However, at the final stage of production, the money ran out again. And this time the investors refused to invest their funds. At the end, it turned out that the development of Roadster cost the company $140 million, instead of the previously calculated $25 million. And this was at a time when the world's leading automakers, one after another, declared bankruptcy. Then Elon Musk risked again, investing several tens of millions more.
We used up all you invested 100 million, then still needed more money, and then there was the big recession of 2008 and 9, and in the end I had to invest everything, and I was borrowing money from friends to pay the rent.
And finally, in June 2009, the company produced 500 cars. The car accelerated to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds and could drive 350 kilometers without recharging. Its maximum speed was 200 kilometers per hour or 124 miles per hour. The model became very popular, and by 2012, Tesla sold 2.6 thousand cars. However, the reputation of the model was damaged by the situation with the TV project Top Gear, when the host said that instead of 300 kilometers, Roadster could drive only 55 kilometers on a single charge.
Whoa. Although Tesla say it'll do 200 miles, we worked out that on our track it would run out after just 55 miles.
Tesla sued the project but lost the case. The judge came down with a ruling that there was no defamation of the car on the part of the TV program. The fact was that the Top Gear track and the public roads had nothing in common. That was why Roadster's electric car capabilities were limited. Consequently, the car received too much load, so the batteries ran out quickly. Do you know what else is interesting? Jeremy Clarkson had since sworn off doing reviews on Tesla. But 10 years after the scandal, he still tested the Tesla Model X. In the end, the host was satisfied with the car.
Sweet Jesus!
But when it came to the cons, 6 lawyers were put in the car with him to control what he was saying. However, the scandal did not prevent the company in the same year to release a second Tesla car, the Model S, for the development of which Musk took a huge loan from the US government in the amount of $465 million. One battery charge was enough for 426 kilometers, and it accelerated to 100 kilometers per hour or 62 miles per hour in 3.1 seconds. 3 years later, Tesla launched mass production of its first full-size crossover, the Tesla Model X, capable of driving about 500 kilometers on a single charge. The electric car was distinguished by its system of protection against biological weapons, as well as the controlled rear doors of the unique Falcon Wings design, which are not typical not only for crossovers but also for ordinary cars.
That the door opens out very, very slightly, and it being so tall, you can do things like stand up inside the car.
In 2013, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration of the United States recognized the Tesla Model S as the safest car in the history of its tests, and this indicated that the developers did not spend so much time and effort in vain. A year later, Tesla opened access to all its patents to everyone. Elon Musk explained this by saying that he was not afraid of competition from new electric cars, and on the contrary was interested in reducing the number of cars that run on gasoline. Of course, against the background of companies that were endlessly suing for their patents, Tesla began to look more advantageous. Gradually, the company managed to get closer to the goal that it set at the beginning of its journey, to reduce the cost of electric cars. In 2017, the company released its most economical model, the Tesla Model 3, the price of which did not exceed $35,000. That year was also notable for the release of the electric truck Tesla Semi, as well as the fact that the company had changed its name from Tesla Motors to just Tesla. In the following years, the company, although it ran a losing business, was able to significantly reduce losses and increase sales. In March 2019, Tesla held a presentation of its first truck, the sixth model in a row, the Model Y, which had a cruising range of 370 kilometers without recharging. Why do people love Tesla cars so much? In addition to the fact that the company's models are among the safest in the world, electric cars also have a number of nice bonus features. For example, autopilot mode. Cars can change lanes and park on their own, and the driver can call a Tesla from the garage via an app. In addition, some of the functions of the electric car can be expanded by updating the system, just like on the iPhone. At the moment, the Tesla company has 7 factories for the production of electric vehicles in the United States, China, Great Britain, the Netherlands, and Germany. What's interesting, more than 150 robots work on the Tesla production line, and the biggest ones are named after characters from X-Men. For example, Professor Xavier picks up electric cars and moves them to a new line. And then the Iceman, Wolverine, Beast, Storm, and other Tesla engineers are taken to work. Musk says that these robots do superhuman things, so they deserve the names of superheroes. The company still has many large-scale plans, and we think that Tesla will still be able to excite the world with something unusual. After all, unlike many other companies, Tesla works for the future and does not focus on making a profit. Elon Musk's dream is to create a product that would be radically different from the competitors and change the world for the better. The company's way to success was difficult. Tesla was always on the verge of bankruptcy. In many ways, the fact that it still exists is the merit of Elon Musk. Yes, he was not the author of the idea, but he was able to turn the startup into what is now considered the most innovative car company in the world. As the inventor himself once said, when something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. Guys, how do you feel about Tesla cars? Share your opinions in the comments. And also, write about what other company of Elon Musk you would like to watch a video on our channel. Thank you for watching, don't forget to like this video, and see you soon.